Kids, let me tell you this story where humans, orcs, and elves try to get along with each other, but that doesn't happen in LA. Yeah, well played, David Ayer. At least you tried.
Like we used to do.
Bright is a Netflix movie directed by David Ayer, and this movie stars Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Now in this movie, Bright takes place in a dystopian world where in the modern world, human, orcs, and elves now exist. And now taking place in Los Angeles, two cops, one is a human, played by Will Smith, Daryl Ward, and Joel Edgerton, who plays an orc known as Nick Jacoby. That as these two cops patrol out at night, then they discover this mysterious wand being owned by the elves. And now as one of the elves try to take over the world, trying to unleash the Dark Lord, it's up to the two cops and one elf to save the world and protect the wand once and for all. Now when I heard about Bright, I was like, first, what is this about? Hey, this is a David Ayer movie, it's a Netflix movie. And then I heard about those elements that they use, the concept about having elves and orcs and humans in the modern world. I find that interesting. I was like, why is everyone not anticipating for it? Until the day it was released, and then we get the soundtrack. I was joy with it. But yeah, it wasn't that much. They didn't do much with this movie. Now I'll tell you what. So in the beginning of the movie, we get to see a kind of a prologue where Will Smith gets shot, and then suddenly how he wakes up, does his daily life, and then he hangs out with his orc friend, and then suddenly they do their mission. That's just the first 30 minutes. You know, they're just doing these things, stuff and that. And then throughout the middle of the movie, after they discover the wand, things get out of hand, and they didn't do much relationship. And then, however, they've been being chased endlessly. They've been running endlessly, being chased by a gangster orc, and then being chased by the villain, by the elf, trying to, you know, protect the wand, trying to get the wand, and then they get out of hand, you know, trying to discuss ideas, arguing with each other. And then the end of the movie, I didn't enjoy the final battle, sort of, because the final battle wasn't like how I expected to be. Like, it wasn't that very entertaining, like, it wasn't that hype about the final battle. But however, after the final battle, there were like some funny moments with these guys, with the two cops. Like, there's some funny moments in this movie, and yeah, that's how the movie ended. Like, they're getting these you know, they get these type of medallion because, oh what, they're the greatest cops in the world, they're heroes. Now let me tell you my issue with this movie. First, I had to look at some critics, because some critics were saying that the movie did not deliver much with this movie, even though for a $90 million movie, it was a Netflix movie. You know, if this movie wasn't released in theaters, but if it was released in theaters, I'd like give $10 or at least $13 to buy for a 2 or 3 ticket movie to watch in theaters. And however, I tell you what, I understand why it's a Netflix movie, because Netflix tried to make a blockbuster movie, and this was one of it. This is one of it with David Ayer. David Ayer uses the same concept with Suicide Squad. You know, the first movie, Suicide Squad, it was like they had all these you know, the elements. You know, they had all the fun, all the wacky stuff, all the gangster stuff, and then suddenly they had these good soundtrack. They used the same thing with Bright. The thing is that it's more mature, and it's more adultish, and it's more, you know, more fantasy and all that. I say the tone of this movie is very dark, which is what the problem with this movie. And however, it's a fantasy type movie, so it should be okay. However, it takes place in the modern world, which is actually a great concept, but the storyline didn't deliver well with this movie. However, I can tell you this, like, there were some great things I like about this movie. Like, for example, the soundtrack. I mean, I had to listen to the soundtrack before the movie was released. Like, they had some hip-hop music that I really enjoyed from the movie. And also, there's these dragon Easter egg, which is very phenomenal. Like, I saw the dragon in the movie. No one see it. Like, there's a dragon in the landscape in the nighttime, flying throughout the city, like in the edge over there. And yeah, I saw it. Like, some reviewer told me like there's a dragon in that movie, and yeah, I saw it. I saw the dragon in this movie. However, there's a dark tone in this movie that didn't do much for this movie. And about this movie, the movie had a dark tone, like I said. However, the acting wasn't good. Like, the storyline got out of hand, which my problem in this movie. Now let's just talk about the characters, since I got nothing else to say. Will Smith plays as Daryl Ward, also known as Officer Ward. Let's just call him Officer Ward. Now, Officer Ward, he's a cop. Yeah, he's an LAPD cop, a human cop who works with this orcish cop. And sometimes he's being an a-hole. You know, he's trying to get along with each other. You know, trying to be a good father, trying to be this good guy. And then there's some funny things with this guy. There's some funny humor in this movie, which I really did enjoy. And Ward, this guy is like the main character. He's just doing his own thing. He just does the thing. Like, you know, he doesn't really care much about the situation. He needs to do his thing, which is why he tries to handle the situation and do the thing at the same time. And then we have this orc known as Nick Jacoby, played by Joel Edgerton. Now, I really like this character. However, he's being an outcast, you know, because he doesn't fit being an orc, so he decided to become police. And however, the police doesn't seem to like him. However, they got a great relationship. In the beginning, they have a good relationship with Will Smith's character, and then throughout the middle movie, they're like, you know what, I'm not friends with you. No, I don't like you. And then they argue each other, they fight each other, not being friends, and they're like, they're not helping each other with this movie. However, I like the chemistry, like they're being good guys. You know, they're trying to be friends with each other and all that. And yeah, he's trying to be the good guy. He's trying to help. You know, he's trying to be a good guy and all that. And then we have this elf named Tika. Now, first we met Tika like 30 minutes of the movie or like 40 minutes of the movie. She's like, you know, she speaks elf language, and then suddenly she's like, please help me. Like, she's being a little bit of a coward and all that. And suddenly she hangs out with, you know, with the orc cop, Jacoby, because, you know, they're close to each other and all that. Like, they keep hugging each other. And then like how many minutes of the movie? Like an hour left. Then they're like, oh, they can speak English now. And then we have the villain, which is her sister, and that is played by Noomi Rapace, and then is Layla. Yes, I didn't expect Noomi Rapace to play as the villain. Like, I thought she was the good guy, but like they're two elves at the same time. Like, they're similar. And yes, Noomi Rapace plays as the villain. This very vicious villain, Layla. And yeah, she's like, she wants to, she follows the Dark Lord, and she wants to get this wand. Like, she's stunning. She kicks butt in this movie. I really like her character. Like, she did some awesome things in this movie, but yeah, it was also violent seeing her in this movie. I have to say this, but Bright is not a bright movie, but a dark flick that Netflix could deliver for a blockbuster movie. I really want to say that Bright is actually an okay movie. I mean, it's a fantasy movie. You would watch this when you get bored in this movie, but I mean, I like the concept, I like the characters, I like the soundtrack in this movie, but the storyline didn't do great. Like, it had a dark tone, and it didn't do much with this movie, and I was really a little bit disappointed that time. Like, I got a little bit bored, like the ending. I mean, I like everything about Bright. It's just that the storyline, like throughout the middle of the movie, I was like, why? It's very different when I watch Suicide Squad. But yeah, that was my review on Bright. What have you seen it? What do you think of the movie? Tell me in the comments below. You can see it on Netflix if you want to. There's a link for it. And yeah, this is my final movie that I'm reviewing. So since this is my final movie that I review, I want to give you this. And also, by the end of the year, I'll be doing my DVD collection. Yes, I'll be showing you guys my movie collection, which is, I'm very excited for that. But yeah, that was my review on Bright. Here's the outro. That is all for this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That would be very helpful. And in the description, you'll find the links so you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.